Hello and welcome to Tian's in Teesside. Today we're gonna talk about Tian's super calcium powder. So, why do we need calcium at all? You've guessed it, for the bones. 99% of calcium goes towards them. Bones are used as storage. Plus, calcium obviously keeps the bones strong and they support all of our body in turn. But 1% of calcium in the body is so important that body is so scared of losing it that it uses calcium from the bones as a backup if we are short. So what does this 1% do that is so important to us? First, when an ion of calcium enters a muscle cell, it contracts. When it leaves the cell, it relaxes. And where do we have muscles in our body? Well, the answer is pretty much everywhere. Skeletal muscle cells, the ones that we exercise in the gym, so our biceps, triceps, legs, arms, tummy, shoulders, back, all of these muscles. Plus, our heart is the big muscle that needs to work all of our life and be healthy and strong. All major organs have muscle cells in it, so our kidneys, liver, stomach, intestine, you name it, all the major organs have muscles. Eye muscles, again, when we're thinking about the eyes, we don't usually think about the muscles in them, but to see far away you need eye muscle. To relax, to see up close, you need an eye muscle to contract. And it's not just the looking left and right, it's the focus of the eye that relies on the muscles in the eyes as well. And not forgetting that every artery and vein has got a lining of a muscle in them too. Some people think that it's the pumping of the blood through the heart that makes the blood go around the body. But the truth is that from faraway places like our arms and legs, there is just not enough pressure for the blood to come back to the heart. And our veins and arteries need to work themselves. They need to contract and move the blood along them. So, what happens when we don't get enough calcium? Body starts to take calcium from the bones. It takes handfuls, not being able to tell whether it is going to use it all or not. Brain and heart are priorities, so must be always supplied. Other organs are next in line, and arteries, unfortunately, are last in line, and they are first to suffer from the bone calcium, which we're going to talk about in a minute. When an amount of calcium is taken from the bones, often enough not all of it is used in that moment of time. Calcium can't be put back into the bones as it is in another form, not the same used for creation of bones, and it is called a bone calcium. So to explain it further, I would give you an example of a cast that you would get at the doctor's at the hospital if you broke your hand or your arm or leg. The doctor would use a powder, mix it with the water, and it will make this liquid cast that is put on your arm, but then it becomes strong. And if you're having a shower and again you're gonna get your arm wet, it will not turn back into liquid or into a powdery state. It will still stay strong. And if you want to take a piece of a cast, you have to either cut it or break it, and you will just have a piece of a hard cast. That's what happens with the bone calcium. When the body needs to take a calcium from the bones, it can only take, so to say, pieces of the bone, and it is not in the original state of an iron calcium, not in the powder state that you would mix in the water in the cast example to make the cast. Well, the ions can be extracted, but it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of resources. So what does body need to break down the bone calcium into calcium ions, which you actually need to be used around the body? You would need boron, magnesium, silicium, and other 13 minerals and nutrients. So the body uses a lot of resources to break down minimum amount needed. As I said, brain and heart are priorities, then the other major organs and arteries and veins, and even the eyes, unfortunately, are the last to get some, and often they get the bare minimum. And when calcium is not used, it can't be put back into the bones, like we said. So what happens? Unfortunately, it gets deposited along the artery walls, and you get atherosclerosis, and the veins and arteries get narrower, and you get all sorts of problems with it. Another way of storing bone calcium for the body is creation of kidney and gallbladder stones. They're very dangerous, very painful, and if they get more than 1 centimeter, you usually have an operation. People have either stones removed or the whole gallbladder, for example, removed because of the stones. Another place where the body puts bone calcium is the joints. They get deposited in there in form of salts. Blood flow to the joints get disrupted, and a range of diseases can occur. Osteochondrosis, gout, arthritis, rheumatism, etc. So the easiest way to check is try turning and tilting your head. Does your neck crack and grind? Does it feel painful when you get neck and shoulder massage? Or your knees, elbows, do they crack when you move suddenly, or when you stand up? If they do, that is the first sign of the bone calcium in your joints. So let's continue. 1% of calcium. What else does it do in the body? Ions of calcium work as a signal transmitters. So in the body you've got neurons, and between each neuron there is a space that is called synapse. It is here marked with a red circle, and the synapse is a special place which has got a little space between the cells, and in the synapse signal transmission happens from one neuron to another. So in this picture you can see it's kind of a lightning effect, and for that bit of electricity to jump from one neuron to another, you need ions of calcium. Third, 1% of calcium. What it does, it takes nutrients, the actual nutrients, into the cell. It does it for every cell, and it does it every time. So like we've talked about the muscle cells, that they contract and relax. That's the function of a muscle cell. But every other cell is needed to be fed. Ion of calcium is used as a go-between between the cell and the blood to take food and nutrients to the cell and take waste from the cell back into the blood. And again, in this example is shown phosphorus calcium, which is the same size as the bone calcium molecule, which needs to be broken down, as I've been talking about earlier, because it is just too big. It can't enter the cell, it can't do any good, and it needs to be broken down into the ion of calcium, which is small, and it can enter the cell through the cell membrane. Fourth, 1% of calcium is needed for fertility. Every sperm cell has got an ion of calcium on the end of its head. It is needed to break an egg wall, and it is also needed to kickstart cell division process and to create an embryo. So to sum up, we need calcium for bones, muscles, nerves, to transport food into cells, and for fertility. For the body not to take calcium from the bones, we need to eat calcium-rich foods, such as bone marrow soups and sauces, real gravy and soups cooked with the real bone. Stock pots, gravy mixes are the cheats people didn't use before and had healthy bones. Plus dairy products. Again, less processed the better, but the dairy, the milk, contains calcium which can be absorbed by our body. And of course, take Tian's calcium. You take it twice a year for prevention of 146 diseases that calcium deficiency has been linked to. And you need to take it more intensely if you already have one of those diseases. So, who is advised to take calcium as a supplement? Children. Bones grow and develop until the age of 26. And Tian's got a special children's calcium which got added vitamins and minerals, specially developed for the child's brain and bones. People over 45 need to take calcium, mainly for the memory, better cognitive function, and better body control. So like we talked about, neurons need calcium so that you have better reaction, your hands don't shake, your brain works better. People who walk in heels, it's again stress on the joints, which will have bone calcium in them. So we need to take calcium to clear away bone calcium, and so it's not deposited in there. Who spend a lot of time on their feet, again joints, bones and circulation. Whoever has had a heart attack, which is a muscle problem, or stroke, nerve problem, you need to take calcium to repair it all. If you have brittle bones, PAD disease, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis and other similar diseases, again it's a nerve problem, muscle problem, which you need ions of calcium. If you want to increase fertility and start a family, that might be the cause of not being able to conceive. If you are pregnant already, calcium is part of hemoglobin, which pregnant women are often short of. So you need it for creation of bones in the baby, to keep your bones healthy, to have more hemoglobin, and again to keep all your organs and nerves healthy. How intake of extra calcium helps you? So no calcium is taken from the bones, no brittle bones. It replaces what has been taken before, so all your brittle bones will become strong again because ions of calcium will build it back up again. No more deposits are left on the artery walls, and with time the body itself will clear out the artery wall deposits, plus lipid T I've been talking about, and other health supplements that Tian's has will help you to flush out the bone calcium deposits from your body way much quicker. Joints are cleared of bone calcium deposits. Again, either your body will do it with time, or the other Tian's products will help you with it too. So you get a better memory, better motor functions, stronger muscles and better coordination. Why Tian's super calcium is special? So Tian's calcium gets absorbed in the body, and 97 or 98% of it gets absorbed. Other best calcium supplements have absorbency of 28 or 37, maximum 37%, like Herbalife and other good, Solga and other good calcium supplements. 37 is like wow in their ranks. If you take natural supplements such as ground eggshells, like our grandmothers used to do, that a piece of eggshell is good for you in omelette because that's the calcium. So the 16% of it is absorbed. It's better than nothing. All other supplements are better than nothing, but look at the Tian's calcium. It's 97-98%. So why is it so special? Tian's has such a high absorbency rate because its ions of calcium are in super stable form and don't become big molecules of phosphorus calcium in the intestine, which body needs to work hard to break down. So remember the picture I showed you before, the cell wall and a tiny ion of calcium and a big fat cell that can't go through the cell wall, the big fat molecule. So in the intestine, even though you eat calcium ions, so to speak, they get clumped together with other things and they become this big fat molecule, which body then needs to break down again so that the ions are released. Well, the Tian's calcium, they've got a special technique which they don't tell anybody about, but that's why it's so special, and that's the only company that produces it. They're in a stable form, so when you intake Tian's calcium, it doesn't get clumped together. The little ions of calcium are still there and they go straight into the blood and start doing the good work. Plus, to note, our body accepts only organic animal calcium from bones, cartilage and dairy, and Tian's calcium made out of dairy products. So the price of the Tian's calcium is £27. You can buy it from me. Please contact me or write to me and I can deliver it locally or can post it to you. But there is a member price as well, which is £19.50, and for you to get that member price you need to become a part of Tian's group. You would need to go on their website www.tians.co.uk and click on the button Join Us, and then click on the button Become Tian's Distributor. Don't be afraid if you don't want to be a distributor and do the good work, just enjoy the products yourself. It is still the possibility. It doesn't make a difference whether you're calling yourself a distributor or just a member. You would need to enter my sponsor ID, which is 90624212, and you need to purchase a starter kit, which is £15 joining fee. It is same as in the gym, the admin fee that you pay only once in a lifetime, and for the rest of your life you will get the distributor price, which is 30% cheaper from the retail price on all of the Tian's product all of your life. So you click and select to buy the starter kit and add it to your shopping bag. Then you click on the tab that says joining package. You need to purchase the products through the joining package to benefit from some further discounts that you will get along the line, that I will be talking more in depth to you about in my next videos. But just trust me and purchase them through the joining package tab. Select free combination tab. There will be a set packages and free combination. You select free combination and you select the products that you want from there, such as calcium, lipid tea. We also suggest digestive tablets for syrup, which I'm going to be talking about in my next video. So here is the gist of it, but if you need help with joining, just contact me, comment below this video, and I will help you to join. Thank you for watching, and please comment any questions about what I've been talking about, any illnesses you want me to talk about in the future videos, because I'm going to be doing presentation about the products, but there are so many illnesses there that I want to explain how they work and which products you need to take for them. So I'm going to be doing kind of the other way around in the future, not talking about the products but talking about the illness, and you need to take this, this and this for that illness, which will work out better. But for now, it's the gist of it, the calcium, but it does so much work around the body that it is hard to explain it all in one go. So here you go. Thank you for watching again, and I will see you soon.